I'm doing a video about choosing the correct cartridge to use for whitetail deer hunting. I've been hunting deer since about the 1970s. I bought a Model 77 Ruger and a 270 Winchester caliber. I've hunted Africa multiple times, taken 34 animals off the African continent, and I found without question that whitetail deer aren't that big, aren't that tough to kill, and you don't need anything bigger than a 100-grain bullet. These boxes of ammo date back to the 70s. I'm still working on them because when I shoot a deer with them, they fall down and die. Now, most of my shots are average probably 75 yards. Rarely do I get out to 150 yards to shoot a deer. That's just the terrain that I hunt in northeast Nebraska. I can tell you without a doubt, all this stuff that people say that you need at least a 130 grain or 150 grain bullet to kill a deer is just nonsense. And what you're getting with many of these ammo companies is they have bullets that hold their weight, 90% weight retention. And this is completely unnecessary. If you have a bullet that has 90% weight retention, it goes in one side and out the side of the animal, making a pencil-sized hole, and the animal runs off. You want a bullet that once it enters the rib cage, and half an inch to 3/4 of an inch, will start to fragment. Now, the best example I have is my trip to Africa in '96. I shot about 17 bait animals, all impala, a little smaller than a white-tailed deer. I had two types of cartridges. I had a Remington core lock, the core lock that they did in 1996, and then I had Barnes X bullets, all from a 7mm Remington Magnum. I would shoot an impala with the Barnes X. It would run 100 yards or more. I would shoot them with the Remington core locked, both being about 150 grain. They were similar grain weight. And with the core lock, the impala would die right where it stood. I never had it, and the guide was insistent that I shoot no more impala using a Barnes X, which would retain at least 90% of its bullet weight, because it would take more work and time and effort, and the animals would run off. And it was proof, but all the time that I've hunted, these 100 grain bullets in a 270 Winchester, being 110 or 100 grain, have been more than adequate in almost every situation. The bullet goes in one side of the deer and out the other. I've never had one of these bullets blow up to the point where they didn't make it out the other side of the animal. And if your bullet goes through the animal and exits the opposite side, you're losing all your foot-pounds of energy. It's foot-pounds of energy that kill the animal. Our goal as hunters, at least my goal as a hunter, is a fast kill. I want it to be humane. I'm not there to torture little woodland creatures. I'm there to kill them where they stand. And these bullets, the 100 grain bullets for Winchester 270, are the best grain weight bullets for a white-tailed deer. Now, if you're hunting out to 400 yards or plus that, yeah, you might want to think different. If you're hunting elk or you're going to be one of those people who likes to shoot shoulder shots and shoot through the bone, and you're shooting 150, 200, 350 yards, well, yeah, maybe you want to rethink this situation. But for the most part, the 100 grain bullet for a 270 Winchester is more than adequate. It's probably the best cartridge. If you can find a 150 grain bullet for a 270 Winchester that fragments upon entry, that is an excellent bullet too. The old Winchester silver tips used to do this. They were excellent deer cartridges for the white-tailed deer. So when you pick a cartridge, don't worry so much about grain weight. Worry about what happens to that bullet. Does it expend the energy inside the chest cavity, or does it expend the energy after it exits to the other side? So and now the other factor, of course, is will they be accurate with your rifle? I shoot an old 270 Winchester, which is a Model 77 Ruger. And these, for some reason, just happen to shoot better with 150 grain bullets. I believe it's because they just have a barrel twist that does that. That's one of the things you should consider is accuracy. But when you do like I have over the last 40 years, shot 75-yard shots on average, you don't have to be too particular. This rifle has served me very well. The 100 grain bullets have served me even better. And it's my strongest suggestion that you look at expansion upon entering the animal and trying to not have your energy expended after it exits the animal. And again, without question, every deer I've shot with a 270, whether it be 100 grain or 110 grain, they have exited the other side, meaning that I've lost many foot-pounds of energy. Enjoy your deer hunting. Take it for what it's worth. Like and subscribe.